Hey there! Today we're going to step into this beautiful, enchanted forest to explore a really simple story that honestly has a surprisingly deep message. We're going to talk about Flicker the Rainbow Fox and this idea that the very thing that makes us different, well, it might just be our greatest gift. So let's just start with this question. I want you to really think about it for a second. What if that one thing about you that makes you stand out, the thing that maybe makes you feel a little out of place sometimes, what if that was actually your secret superpower? It's a huge thought, right? And it's really the heart of the story we're jumping into.
Okay, so let's get into the first part of our story, the beautiful burden of being different. We're heading deep into a place called the Whispering Woods, and we're about to meet a pretty unforgettable little fox.
So picture this, the Whispering Woods. And in these woods lives a fox named Flicker. But right off the bat, you can tell Flicker wasn't like any of the other foxes. He was different. Let's take a look at what exactly set him apart. And here it is, plain and simple. On one side, you've got your typical fox, classic red fur. But then there's Flicker. His fur wasn't just one color. It literally shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow. Can you imagine that? A living, walking rainbow in a forest full of red? And of course, this is where the trouble starts. You'd think this amazing, unique coat would be celebrated, right? Nope. The other animals just saw something they weren't used to. You look funny, they'd tease him. You can just feel how lonely that must have been. His difference wasn't something to be proud of. It was a reason to be made fun of. So, what does Flicker do? He does what so many of us try to do when we feel like we just don't fit in. He tries to hide it. He tries to cover up the very thing that makes him special, rolling around in the mud, trying so hard to look just like everyone else. But, and this is so important, his true colors always shone through. He couldn't hide his light even if he tried. Okay, let's move on, because this is where the story really takes a turn. We're calling this section A Storm, a Light. It's all about how a moment of crisis can actually become your true calling. Things are about to get dramatic. And then, just like that, everything changes. A huge, terrible storm rolls into the Whispering Woods. We're not just talking about a little rain here. This is a massive storm that throws the entire forest into absolute chaos and total darkness.
And in that pitch-black mess, panic just takes over. The very same animals who are teasing Flicker, now they're lost. They're scared. They have no idea how to get back to safety. The whole community is in real danger.
But then a voice cuts through the wind and the rain. It's Flicker. And he is not hiding anymore. In this moment, he leans into what makes him different, and he shouts, "Follow my light." This is it. This is the moment his so-called weakness is revealed as this incredible, unbelievable strength. And this just breaks down the rescue perfectly. Let's walk through it. First, you've got the animals, totally lost, totally terrified. Then there's Flicker, and his rainbow fur is glowing like a beacon in the dark. They see it, and they start to follow his shining light. And just like that, one by one, he leads every single one of them safely back home. The very thing they made fun of, it just became their salvation. Phew, okay. So the storm is over, everyone's safe, and that brings us to our final part of the story, the gift of difference. This is all about what happened next and the huge lesson that everyone learned that night. The next morning, the change is just wow. It's immediate, it's total. The teasing, it's completely gone. Instead, there's just gratitude. The other animals all gather around Flicker, and they tell him, "Your colors saved us." They finally see his difference, not as something funny, but as something truly heroic. And this might be the most powerful moment in the whole story. It isn't just about the other animals finally accepting him. It's about Flicker finally accepting himself. As he hears them, it all just clicks. He finally understands that the very thing that made him different was also what made him wonderful. That's a huge moment of self-love right there. So what's the big takeaway here? It all boils down to this really simple but incredibly powerful idea. Being different is what makes you special. Your unique qualities, yeah, even the ones that sometimes make you feel a little alone, that's where your real power is. And that brings us right to the end. Flicker found his light when things got dark. So I guess I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. What makes you wonderful? What are those amazing colors that only you can bring to the world?